It so happened that one day I went to visit my grandmother for an extended stay. Using public transport, I failed to notice how my stop passed by me. I was tired from the long journey and fell asleep on the bus, which sped past the right place. Waking up, I looked out the window and realized that I was at a completely unfamiliar stop, which was not on my route. Rising from my seat, I felt an unpleasant burning in my chest, and a piercing fear gripped me. Exiting the bus, I looked around. The place I was brought to was filled with rain and a gloomy shadow. Houses surrounded by dense forests looked abandoned and forgotten by time. Trying to understand where I was, I decided to go further along a narrow path shrouded in twilight and mystery. In the distance, I noticed strange figures floating between the trees, like ghosts emerging from the darkness. My heart pounded in my chest as I approached a nearby clearing. In the center of the clearing stood an ancient building with broken windows and creaking doors. Dark shadows slid along its walls, wrapping it in a shroud of fear and silence. Entering inside, I felt the dampness and cold that touched the skin. It seemed that every step produced an echo inside the building, as if it was speaking to me in its own language. Looking around, I noticed strange symbols carved on the walls and ceiling. They seemed incomprehensible to me, but I felt that something terrible and powerful was hidden behind them. Suddenly, monsters emerged from the darkness, merging with it into a single nightmarish form. Their fangs glistened in the gloom, and their eyes sparkled with malice and a thirst for blood. They moved towards me, forging the chains of my fear and horror. Rushing to my only saving door, I ran out of this house of horrors, pursued by an ominous breath and the rustling of shadows. I ran as if the devil himself was on my tail, making my heart beat faster and faster. Without stopping, I reached another stop, where the bus was already waiting for me. Jumping in, I threw myself back into its cozy walls, as if the shattered world of dreams had turned into a shaky reality. Sighing with relief, I closed my eyes and freed myself from the anxiety that had gripped me in this mystical world. But even after waking up, I felt an icy fear that covered my heart with frost of warnings and secrets. And now, in every new dream, I see the dark shadows of those monsters that pursued me on that terrible day when I got lost in a world of mysticism and fear, which became more real and terrifying with each step I took.